Welcome to Gen X TrustFall, the podcast dedicated to planned and unplanned midlife changes and the ability to trust in the unknown. I'm Carla Loomis. In today's episode, Donna Silva and I chat about our Gen X Hollywood crushes that include Shaun Cassidy, Ralph Macchio, and again, Matt Dillon. Next, in part 2 of my interview with Hollister's own Kirk Ward, we talk about the major changes that have hit Hollywood in the past few years, namely streaming services, the writer's strike, COVID-19, and everyone's favorite, AI. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoy. Donna, thanks for coming again. I love having you.
I love coming here and hanging out.
And you get all the popular references. Like, I think we had crushes probably on the same movie stars. Or a lot of them. You're a little younger.
Yeah, but I was raised with my 2 older cousins. In addition to my siblings. So they're 7 and 8 years older than I am. I remember so many things that my girlfriends don't.
Yeah.
Because it's just like when you have older siblings that are so much older, right? You're exposed to more.
You were exposed to that.
Yes.
Okay.
So I know the Hardy Boys.
Oh, I know.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I've already talked about this. I was a huge Shaun Cassidy. That was my first heart-fluttering crush as a young 4th grader.
He was a cutie.
Oh,
he was.
I loved him. I think I had his album, and I have this one, but I found that at the Goodwill like 2 years ago.
That was original.
No, I don't think I had this one. I had the other one where his face is a lot bigger. But yeah.
He had that many albums?
He did. I know, shocking. I don't know how many. I had one, and then this one I found, like 2 years ago. I was so excited at Goodwill. And
do you listen to it?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's just for his cute little face. No, I just had to buy it.
Yeah.
No, what's his song on there? Do You Believe in Magic?
Oh, yeah.
He sang that, and he was so sweet. But I think his other one was, what was his other one? To Do Run Run.
Yes, that was
big.
That was big.
Yeah.
That's what I remember.
Okay.
And the Hardy Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So being a little younger, who were your Hollywood crushes?
Well,
Who was your number one?
Was Ralph Macchio.
That's...
And he still is to this day. And the first time I saw him was on 8 is Enough.
Okay.
Which was like every Wednesday evening, I think.
God,
was
you
8
have
is
a good
Enough.
memory.
Yeah, I have a crazy memory.
Yeah.
Probably not healthy. I remember everything. I do. I have a crazy memory. So yeah, he was my first crush.
Okay.
And I remember seeing him on 8 is Enough. So he was like a guest star.
I was
going to
say, because he wasn't one of the kids.
No, he wasn't one of the kids. And
no.
I think he came on like towards the end of 8 is Enough.
Okay, yeah.
Like when it ended, somewhere around there.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, and then following that, of course, as you know, he was one of the outsiders.
Yes.
You know, him.
Johnny.
He was Johnny. And then there was Matt Dillon.
Tragically dies at the end.
I know. It broke my heart.
I know.
So, and to this day, I still have a huge crush on him. And I follow him and Matt Dillon on Instagram. And I had my walls were covered.
Yes.
Like posters of the outsiders, but mostly Ralph Macchio. All over. And he still looks good.
He does look good.
He's like 63.
Yeah,
and
he does look good.
Still looks like he's in his 50s.
Yeah. He and Rob Lowe is aging really well,
okay.
too.
Well, Rob Lowe, who, I mean, he's another one.
He is.
And
he's
I still crush on him, too.
Yes, I will crush on him. Yeah. Rob Lowe, Matt Dillon, and those two, I think, well, I haven't seen Matt Dillon lately, but I think they hold up pretty well.
Yeah, they do. I think, but my nephew does not say that about Matt Dillon. So he knows Matt Dillon personally.
Yeah.
And he's not a fan.
He's not a fan
of Matt Dillon.
Well, that's okay. I don't want to talk to your nephew about... I don't want him to shatter my image of Matt Dillon.
Oh, he's already tried to shatter mine. And I said, it's too late. You'll never.
Yeah.
Because I
know.
just adore him.
Yeah.
And
when we talked about on the other one was Michael Jackson, how
yeah.
off the wall. And his album opened up and it was him full length with the whole
in the tuxedo, like, right? Yes.
And I would just stare at that face. I loved him.
I had a crush on Michael Jackson right before the Thriller album came out. So I had a poster of him. I think he had like white pants on and a yellow vest, because I had that for years on my wall. So my sister and I shared a room, and her crush was, of course, Prince. And the poster she had on the wall of Prince, he's lying down on a bed, and it's like there's white, like, I don't know if it's tulle or whatever, it's all around, and he's naked. So, but he's on his stomach, so you just see his little bottom, a little tiny Prince butt. And that was on our wall. And then she also had a crush on James Dean, so we had James Dean, and I loved Marilyn Monroe. That was also... I have been infatuated with Marilyn Monroe since I was a kid. And the first time I saw her, my parents had taken us to Pier 39. Yeah. And there used to be a store there that was like posters and like all Hollywood, old Hollywood. Yeah. And I was little. And I remember asking my mom, who is she? She's beautiful. Yeah. And my mom told me it was Marilyn Monroe. And I got my first Marilyn Monroe poster then.
Cute.
And my office wall is all Marilyn Monroe.
Oh my God.
I am still obsessed with her. So whatever that makes me, I think she's the most beautiful woman in the world to this day. And so I would say her and Ralph Macchio were like, and Ricky Schroeder.
Ricky Schroeder. He was too young for me. He was kind of, but I get it. He was adorable.
And Jason Bateman.
Okay.
And I still have a crush on Jason Bateman. I think he's aged great.
I do too.
I think he's such a great actor.
Yeah, so, he is. And he has a great wit about him. I really like his personality when he's not acting. He's fun and he is pretty cute. And then Arrested Development that's my go-to when I can't watch more Dateline, because I watch pretty much
like the murder stuff. Yeah, I love that
all the time.
Too.
But sometimes I need I'm alone here at night. I don't want to think about someone coming in my house. So I watch Arrested Development over and over, and he's so good.
He's so good. And he's a handsome man, but he was a cutie. So I never wrote letters to my, you know how they had fan clubs? I don't know if they still do, but
I don't either.
My sister wrote to Ricky Schroeder, and she got a letter back and a signed autographed photo. And I still remember going to the post office to pick it, like, because we had, in San Juan, P.O. boxes, and I still, like I said, I have a crazy memory. I remember when she got it, and we thought it was him that really signed the print. They were just mass produced, right? But we thought it was him.
Of course you did.
I bet you my sister still has it.
Oh, yeah. So why would you throw that away? That's gold.
You know what's crazy is that I don't know how many of your scrapbooks or anything you still have when you were growing up.
Yeah.
I still have my scrapbook that has pages torn out from like 17 magazine and Tiger Beat.
Yes.
I still have
Teen
that.
Beat, Tiger Beat. Yeah.
And I still have that with some of my favorites. And when I was younger, I wrapped it in like saran wrap.
To save it? Well, that was smart.
Yeah. And I even have a corsage that I got at the 7th and 8th grade dance.
Oh my God. I was in 7th
grade.
That shit too. And it's all crumbling. It was in like a photo album. Yeah.
Mine's disgusting. My daughter's like, that is gross. I know. You need to throw that out. And I said, I will never throw that out. That was my first corsage and from a boy, and I'm
keeping it. So, I don't care that it crumbled and made a big mess on my shelf. It doesn't matter.
So if you saw your crush today, your old Shaun Cassidy. What would you say to him? Like, if you had that one opportunity?
No, I think it's too icky. It's an ick. What would I say? I would say, Oh, I had the hugest crush. I spent 10 cents on a Tiger Beat picture I bought from a girl at school.
She tore it out of her magazine.
Yeah, she tore it out and sold it to me for 10 cents.
God, that's awesome.
I mean, what am I going to say? I had a satin jacket just like you did in your cover.
Wasn't it like blue?
It was either white or blue.
Okay,
and, yeah, it had like little stripes around the arms. Like,
yes.
I had that and I went roller skating thinking that I was going to run into you someday.
Yes.
Like, I don't know.
I'm so glad I wasn't the only one that thought like that.
I mean, Shaun Cassidy's probably walking around the streets of Hollister, right?
Right.
Like, looking for a little 12-year-old
girl. Of course he is. Or
of
at
course.
the skating rink.
Yes.
Yeah, at the top of his game.
Yeah.
For you.
Out of Bellotto, going around and around. Oh, my God. I don't know. I'm not that I've been in that position, but I get very embarrassed of like I don't know if that I would do anything really.
I would.
You would.
Oh, I would.
I love that you would.
I would.
What would you say to Ralph?
Oh my gosh, I would say I've had a huge crush on you since I was probably 8 years old. I knew I liked boys at a very young age. I had my first crush when I was in kindergarten. And I was very boy crazy, and but I would say
you
something
would.
to him.
Yeah.
Oh, I would.
Yeah.
Well, I told you the story about Matt Dillon.
Yes.
So, and I will. Yeah, I have the screenshots to prove it. So.
I love that you would do that because I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't because if I have one cocktail, even it's all coming out. So
right?
I'm saying that as a sober. It's 10 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
I haven't had any cocktails, but. Give me one, and I may just go plant a big smacker right on Shaun Cassidy.
I don't even know what he looks. I don't know what he looks like now because he comes up on my Instagram feed sometimes because I follow a lot of Gen Xers.
Yeah.
He comes up, but it's like video of him back in the day.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't even know what he looks like.
I think he looks good, but it's really hard for me to tell with AI now. I don't know what's real and what's not.
I know.
And my kids are like, oh, that's AI. Oh, that's real. Like, how do you fucking know? How can you tell?
My daughter gets so pissed. She says that all the time.
Yeah.
Don't send me that. That's fucking AI. That's what she'll tell me.
I don't know. I mean, obviously when the cat is dancing with some glasses on, I know that's AI, but I showed my kids these cats on a train that the guy built for his cats, and he pulls the.
Oh yes,
have you seen it?
Yes.
And then he built them a slide down the stairs too.
Well, I haven't seen that one. I've seen the one with dogs.
Okay. Same thing.
It's
but
AI.
Like that's probably AI. I go because I told my son you need to build a little train for your cats because he has 2 cats, and I'm like you need to build a little train. He's like that's AI. I go, how do you know?
How do you know?
And then he saw it and he's like, oh no, that's probably real. Like, see, I don't know.
It's hard. It's hard to know.
So I don't know what Shaun looks like now, but I mean.
And with plastic surgery, if he's had any
work. I mean, they all have, right? I don't know.
I don't think Ralph has.
No. He's the
I am going to go down.
He's the one
I will
exception.
die on that cross. He has not. I would say Matt Dillon. Yes, he probably has.
Yeah. Well,
I think he just does some Botox in there, which I am a fan of, and I will try to hold on to my youth as long as I can.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with that.
Okay. Well, I'm going to have you back on to talk about Botox.
Okay.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll talk about Botox all day long. Well, for the record, I haven't had it in a year because the girl I get it from, anyways, she hadn't been in the area.
Okay.
But no, yes, I will.
Okay.
I love that stuff.
We're going to set a plan for next time.
Yeah. No shame in that game at all for me.
I don't think there's shame in anything, but.
Not even in your old crush. Is there now? Did you have a crush on anybody that probably now to this, like if you saw that person, a photo of that person from back then, that you're like, oh God, he was not very attractive. Why would I have a crush on him?
Yeah, you know who it was?
No, who? Now I want to know.
It was Potsy from Happy Days.
Ooh. Well, to be fair, he was probably the best looking of the bunch.
I guess, but
Days.
If you're cool, you like the Fonz. I'm sorry.
I knew he was an old man then.
Well, I did too. But out of Richie, Ralph, Mouth, and Potsy, I had a huge crush on Potsy, and now I would be like,
Oh,
Okay, you know who I had a huge crush on? But it's like one of my favorite movies. And I don't know the actor's name. The main character from The Last American Virgin. And I think it was more because I felt so bad. Gary. That was the character's name. Yes.
Yeah.
Like go back or go like on Instagram and pull up Last American Virgin.
Yeah, I don't know who he was.
Yeah. Because he was like, that was the thing. Yeah. None of the girls were attracted to him. But, I'm like, oh, the underdog. Poor Gary. And then he finally gets the girl for her to only turn around.
Right.
And, yeah.
I know.
And diss him at the end. And,
the best part of that movie was when they all get crabs from the hooker, and then they're in the swimming pool, the public pool, and they're like, I think the chlorine will kill him. And then they're all, can't crabs swim? Don't crabs live in the water? That's my favorite part.
You know what? That's hilarious that you're saying that. I remember like crying when he walks in the party and Karen is her name. He walks in and she's making out with,
heartbreak.
And but you know what? That soundtrack is still one of the best soundtracks.
I need to go back and listen to that.
That and Vision Quest, I would say, are probably
Vision
like
Quest,
two of my favorite
really
soundtracks. And Matthew Modine was pretty good looking. He was
my type.
Yeah, but Gary, I had this huge crush on him. Oh my
gosh.
And I didn't have him on my wall.
No. Well, could you even find a poster of that guy? I don't know if he was out. He was not
No. You would open up those magazines. Yeah. It was The Outsiders. It was, Shaun Cassidy. Yeah, it was all that.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you for coming. This was super fun.
I always say sleep well, dream big.
Yeah.
Sleep well, dream big. And the other day when my son, we were walking in the street and, he's going to be 14 and he saw our neighbor, Varton's plumbing van. And he goes, I think I want to be a plumber, Dad. And I said, oh, okay. Why? And he goes, AI can't replace plumbing.
He's right.
Yeah. On that subject, what's been interesting in the last 5 or 6 years, whoever's listening, I'm just some guy with a little opinion in the corner of the world. I'm not an expert on Hollywood. When people talk about my business, that it's so hard and all these things, it's like, yes, it is, but there are way more important things in the world than creating content. And I'm very self-aware of that. I love what I do. I'm grateful for what I do, but like, it's just a thing and it's just a job like any other job. So what was interesting for me, I feel like with artists, and you've come to this town to follow your dreams, and Hollywood starts when you arrive here, because most of us are from, when I meet somebody and they're like, oh, I was born here. You're like, what? Because most of us take the Greyhound bus, or hitchhike or whatever it takes and come down to this weird place. And so my journey in this weird place started in 1993, and things for nearly 3 decades were pretty normal. The system was normal. And then this thing called streaming started, right? Where it's like, networks weren't, ABC, CBS, NBC, and must-see TV on Thursday night. Like, you started to see a shift that cable companies were developing things like Breaking Bad, and you were starting to go, oh, wow. And this thing called Netflix, I remember being in a meeting at Warner Brothers, and someone go, Netflix is going to start developing original series. And I was like, what? Never going to work.
Yeah.
I worked in an office where we wrote on things on pen and paper, and a woman named Jody researched topics. I had like a cigar and a button-up suit with a Tucker Carlson tie. Listen to me. I've got a bow tie and a cigar. I just remember when that change was coming, Carla. It was like this weird thing of like, oh, whoa. Wait a minute. There's a structure to this thing. There's a payment schedule to this thing. There's a pilot season, and pilot season was built around one thing. It was built around what cars were coming out at the end of the year. Because if you got your pilot done and the network chose the television show, the shows would come on for the big, car commercials.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So it's like, it was built on brand awareness and brand money and brand commercials, right? And then this thing streaming came along. Well, there's no commercials. So it sounded super cool on paper. And there was a period where I remember going to a meeting at Netflix and leaving, and I was like, wait a minute, maybe this is fantastic, It felt like the gold rush. I remember reading about the gold rush, and what I always loved about reading about the gold rush is the weirdos and the mania of like, the guy that would put glue on his body and roll down the hill. Right? Like, I was like, well, that happened. Like, there was a gold rush and people came from all over. There was a period of time where it was the Wild West gold rush, where it's like Amazon is going to make their own shows and Netflix is going to make their. And so opportunities as creatives opened up. You didn't have this limited 5 networks that you had to pitch to. Now you had 11 places you could take your idea to. So there was a really exciting time because distribution in my business is everything. You get hired by a studio and they pay you to write a project, and now we have to find a output, right? Well, if there's only 3 or 4 places, the numbers that your numbers gain, it's slim. Your margins are very, very thin. So it was an exciting time for a while. But then this thing happened where streamers started to dominate networks. Well, with networks, you knew how your show was doing and what kind of share it got. And a share meant like the Nielsen ratings. And on Monday, you could go, oh, wow, look at the share. It did a 3.5. And there was a metric that measured the success of your show. But now you have a streamer. Well, they don't share their algorithm. So you don't know who's seeing your show or how many eyeballs are watching it. They will tell you their version of its success. But here's the other thing. They weren't paying us residuals. The budgets got smaller. The rooms got smaller. Yes, there's more opportunities to create, but if there's more opportunities and people know they have something to leverage over you, they're going to give you less and want you to create more. Right? It's not like, oh, that's Hollywood. That's just corporate America.
Exactly.
It's corporate America.
Right.
So that was the first big change. And then when COVID hit.
Right.
COVID was the big disruptor. And look, again, way more important than my business. It affected everyone.
Yeah.
I'm not
every way of life, everything. So you're on one end of the creative part, right? Yeah. And I'm trying to teach kids over Zoom that none of them had computers. Very few had internet. One of them had to go by his window because the school next door, he could sometimes get some Wi-Fi from the school. None of them had their cameras on because somebody was getting high on the couch while they're, it was just a insane time. And so, but there's nobody that was untouched by it.
Yes. All of us were affected. Okay. So I had to move to Zoom. Well, I have the technology.
Yeah.
There's fucking 5 computers in my house plus the school computers. I have different monitors. I mean, I have 2 different internet system. I have my own, okay. It was a stress, but yes, I remember, and I talked to my kids. My kids at the time were in private school. COVID made us move to public school because when I saw behind the curtain, I was like, whoa. What am I paying for? Whoa. Okay. Gear shift. Right. But I remember thinking about the families in Los Angeles that, a single mom, because I was raised by a single mom that had to go work and her 8-year-old boy is home alone.
Right.
And
or babysitting
right,
his younger brothers. Yeah.
Right. Babysitting the younger brother. And that person, that kid, that mother depended on the school system to watch their child, protect their child, and feed their child.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And that's the thing that really again, I have 2 refrigerators and this is me not trying to brag. I'm just like, I am.
No. I know exactly what you're saying.
And I tell my kids all the time, like, you have a pool table, you have a pool, you can go out and play the game of billiards. And you can swim in your pool, and you have 2 televisions. So we have an abundance. But the shift, what COVID crushed Hollywood, how it affected us primarily was, it shut down productions, obviously. But with this streaming thing, right? Suddenly, you can't go to the movie theaters, right? Well, streamers were like, we'll make movies and we'll premiere them on our networks, on our streaming, on our output. So it leveled us. And the other piece of it was moving to Zoom is a wonderful thing for like a movie studio. They're like, the studio doesn't have to pay for an office.
Oh,
the writers, they don't have to pay for any of that. So we're all working at home on Zoom. Let me just tell you, if it's one-on-one, creatively, you can get a lot done. 8 writers, right? And there's a magic to a writer's room where the energy you're feeding off of it, and someone laughs and it reminds you of this thing, it reminds me of that, and you go, I got to do, and then you're breaking the narrative and you're opening the narrative up and you're digging into theme. Well, on Zoom, it's like one person talks at a time, which is great, but it was so limiting. And the other thing, as a creative, my job, I come up with an idea, I put it together, my agent and I kind of talk about the idea. We strategize. He gets on the phone and calls up different studios. And then I would set up in-person meetings and I would go into the room and have an hour and a half to go, let me tell you about my show, and really connect with people and be a salesman and make them laugh and make them smile and draw them into a story. Now you have like 49 minutes on your schedule, Zoom, and you're a 2-dimensional talking head, and they are checking their emails, and they're not paying attention. So everything shifted that way. Suddenly you're like, okay, now I have to figure out how to pitch a show that has to have like a 4-season arc with an incredible character that is totally relevant, that is nothing like on television. What is a season arc? And it becomes this race to try to engage with people. It's like waving a shiny object, like, pick me over here in my little Zoom box. It's been very, very challenging. And then the third part of this trifecta of change, at least from where I'm sitting, is AI.
Yeah.
And, the interesting thing about AI, which I will never forget, I remember my mom telling me a story of like, I remember the first time I saw a TV.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
no, that's reality.
I remember, my uncle, like, I remember watching Neil Armstrong walk on the moon. All of these kind of like pinnacle moments in history that are relatable because we read about them in textbook, we talk about them, right? But with the information age and the internet, as you know, everything moves so unbelievably fast, and it's so hard to not only keep up with information, but process, maintain, and comprehend information.
Yes.
My moment that I'm going to sound like an old man with my grandkids one day is I was at a New Year's party and a guy goes, "Are you messing around with AI at all?" And I go, "What?" Look, no, and I had been living in Europe. I lived in Europe and did a television show that I was a showrunner on and produced and wrote in Europe. So I was also kind of like, it was like coming back from a battle or something. Like I'd lived in like a motel and had like an assistant and
right.
And then now I'm like, I'm going to a party and there's kids here and other human beings that aren't interested in my, and I was like, what is this guy talking about? And he goes, "I'm going to show you something right now. And it's akin to back in the day, if we were on horseback right now and we looked up and we saw an automobile drive by." And I'm like, okay, this guy's a nut job. But like I'm already backpedaling towards the champagne and potato chips. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And he brings up ChatGPT and he's like, "Is there something that's going on in your life right now that's difficult?" And I'm like, "Yeah, well, yeah, fire somebody on Monday." And so I explain this thing and he's like, "So you're going to craft an email." But so he starts talking into his phone.
Yeah.
Again, to a young kid, somebody listening to us, they're like, "Okay, old man."
I know.
But to me, to us, to our generation, and then he turns the phone towards me and it's like, "Dear so-and-so, a difficult time during the holidays to let somebody go." And suddenly it's like I could hear the horses. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I'm on the horse and like, "Here comes Henry Ford in his automobile," you know?
Well, yeah. What is that?
I'm like, wait a minute.
I know.
And that was just 3 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
And so that is why we went on strike. Primarily, we were the writers. It was time for the AMPT to negotiate with the studios on our behalf and all the streamers. And there were things like AI and streaming, and we're not getting residuals and health benefits. And then, we went on strike for 148 days or something.
Mm-hmm. That's a long time.
Because now you're going to the gates of the studio that you depend on to drive in and pay you. And you're walking around in circles with a sign. And, there's a lot of rah-rah the first 2 weeks. But you do that for months. And I'm bringing my kids and we're sunburned. But, one of the things was the AI guardrails of like, and I get it from a corporate level, how exciting for them that they're like, wait a minute, there's now an app, a website, whatever it is that you can prompt. And so one day I did it. I was like, write me a script, a full-length script in the style of so-and-so. I just wanted to see what it did and make it about, and it was a really stupid idea and bad idea. And within, 19.2 seconds, a 113-page script came out, and I was reading through it, and it was a disaster. But I thought, I didn't do it as something I would ever use and sell. I did it to observe the tool. And I went, oh, wow. So I get it from their side where they're like, we don't want to put guardrails on this AI thing because we don't want to interact with these writers that have feelings.
Right. Or pay them.
I mean, we don't want to pay them. We don't want to
pay them.
Yeah. Because look, I'm in arbitration with a studio from like 3 years ago on a project that they didn't want to pay me at a certain. They always try to, hey, do you think you could do this? Just rewrite these 3 or 4 scenes for free. All they want to do is get free work out of you. And in my line of work, when I get in bed with the studio and I'm pitching them and we're very interested in Kirk's idea. And that's a 3-4 month process of free work.
Uh-huh.
I'm just working free.
Right. You're trying to sell a product.
And then they go, oh, now we have to pay him. And the first offer is like, it's like a 1996 You're like, hey, wait a second. I need like Wonder Bread peanut butter and jelly here, you guys. Like it's peanuts. AI comes along and I get it from a non-creative point of view. If somebody that does not understand what it takes to create story, and look, I'm just being honest. I feel like I'm just figuring out what it takes, right? Like now I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. I think I understand this thing a little bit more. Well, now comes this, Terminator 2 bot that's like, I will make script for you, in seconds. And I get it. That they go, well, let's fill a room with some creative types that we could pay minimum wage, and we'll get some professional prompters in here and a little bullpen going, and then create some ideas, and this thing can spit out a script, and then maybe we spend $100,000 and bring in a real professional writer to kind of polish it. Yeah, and that's just the text level of things. Then we're watching this thing, Claude, create these images that I'm like, I have good friends that are production designers, and a production designer in my line of work, if you don't know, their job is to, when the script is done and you go into production, they're like, all right, let's talk about the look and the feel of the world. We'll draw up some storyboards and we'll hire an artist and we'll start putting together images and color palettes. And it's a really incredible process when you work with production design. I've been fortunate to work with a couple of legends that go back to the earlier days in Hollywood. And I think my heart breaks for them because with AI can go, create an image of a police officer on a horse. And within, 2.9 seconds, I have an image that at least I could put together in a montage that I could display to a studio, and they would go, oh, I get it. Right. And so I don't want to be hypocritical here and be like, I'm not the old man on the lawn. Get off my lawn, AI. Right. I don't want to be that guy. I have to be open.
Yeah.
And go.
Well, you have to, because you're not changing it, and you're going to get left behind if you're not trying to figure out. I mean, you don't have a choice, right? No. There's no choice. And so I taught at-risk kids my whole career, 30 years at risk, whatever that means, different situations. But I hated the regular classroom. I just didn't like the regular classroom. The quote normal kids. There are no normal kids, but whatever. So anyway, my last year in a continuation high school, and every kid has his phone out constantly. Every kid has some type of vape situation going on. Yeah. And they want 3-minute snippets. They don't want to listen to a lecture. They don't want to take nothing, right? And they're on their computers the whole class. And so I couldn't figure out, why is this year so miserable for me? And I realized I have aged out. It's not them. We gave them this world. We gave them the vape pens. We gave them the phones. We gave them the computers. And then we said, wait, you can't use any of that because I can't teach you, because I'm an old teacher and I'm used to teaching the way that I used to teach before we gave you all these things. And so I was like, you know what? I've aged out. They're just using the tools that people are buying for them nonstop. And I need to find something else, because I will be miserable for the rest of my life trying to teach these kids. They need somebody on their same level who's going to realize, okay, here's how we get around that, or here's how we work with that. I'm not that person anymore. And so I found another teaching avenue, which I love, but it doesn't involve any of those things. In fact, my students don't even want to see a computer. They don't want to see a computer. And so there is. Yeah.
I've seen my daughter and her friends are like, they were talking for a while of getting off their phones. I was coming up with this idea. I was working in the kitchen one night and I was talking to my daughter about it late at night, and she was going to bed and she goes, Dad, just don't put anything in there like, the thing went viral, or look at Instagram. And I was like, I get that. I hear you. And it's like, she's like, the second I hear that,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh God, some old person is trying to,
Yeah. Yeah. But there's somebody that's going to fix the educational system, but it's not me. I'm okay with it not being me anymore because I don't want to learn all that stuff. I love learning all this podcasting stuff, but in the end, it's me having a conversation with somebody else, and all the rest of it, Ryan can handle. And he's great at it, and it's awesome, but I'm not that person anymore. And so it seems to me what you're saying is kind of like you're figuring out what is your place in this world at this moment.
And it's very easy to just climb up on a soapbox and be like, fuck AI. What you proposed is very interesting, and what you're exploring, I think we're both trying to explore the same avenue, right? And me the other day, and this is going to sound really corny and writery, and I apologize, but I'm like, I always think of storytelling as like in our DNA. We are cave people that want to go into the cave at the end of the night and sit around a flickering fire and hear a story, right? We love a dark room, and now the flickering fire is a screen of some kind, right? That is what we are drawn to. We love stories, right? Tell me about the weather. Any kind of any story that is dramatic, or, oh my God, you're never going to believe what happened to me. As human beings, it is in our DNA. We are drawn to that. So I'm not going to change this AI thing. In my cave, in my old man cave of flickering fire and storytelling, there is going to be an AI component. But what I can fight for and what I can be passionate about is not to lose the human connection. Use it as a tool, but let's not forget that what makes this world interesting, whether we agree about this or disagree, whether we're scared of it or not, is learning other things from other people and having holy shit moment of going, what? Oh, wow, that's how they do that there? That's what happened? Oh, and then Monday morning at the water cooler, talking about the thing that we saw and having another level of human connection about it.
Yes.
So
yes.
I
agree.
I don't think that, I'm with you. It's like, it's a wrap for me in 15 years, right? And I'm going to look back and go, already when I was telling that story of, Joni and researching topics, even telling that story to you, I'm like, my God, someone that's young, they're like, what?
I know.
Like, I was trying to explain to my daughter what Friday nights in Los Angeles, because Friday nights for her, it's like she's looking at Instagram and there's a party, but they won't send out the address because they don't want 2,000 people coming.
Right.
And it's like, okay, Dad, I got it. We're driving to San Marino and blah, blah. I'm like, okay,
oh my gosh,
you fucking drive, but all right. But I was trying to tell her, I was like, Friday nights for me to be like, okay, I come home from rehearsal or I'm doing a show and I get off stage at 10 o'clock and I come home and I press my answering machine. It's like, you have 4 messages. And it's like, hey, we're going to meet at Toy Cafe and we're going to go to the thing. And I look at the timestamp and I'm like, well, I fucking missed that. Message deleted, right? And I might get to a message like, hey, there's a punk rock show in 7th Santa Fe in downtown, starts at 10:30. I'm like, oh, I can go to that. Or I'm just going to be a lonely guy getting 2 medium pizzas from Domino's and a six-pack of beer and watching an old movie rerun, right? And my daughter's like, oh, you're like, that's so beautiful. And, I wish that we had that. At the time, if somebody from the future would have been like, hey, I'm holding in my hand a rectangular device. It's called a cell phone. It will connect you to the, I'd be like, give me that thing, right? I want out of this. Right.
Yeah, like Back to the Future, all that shit. Here's what I think. I told you I was going to tell you my theory, right?
Yes.
So let's play out the scenario of AI. The top 1% get all the money, basically, right? So the top 1% have even more money than they have now, but the generation that's your kids right now have this romanticized idea of true art, right? So you have people that are making pictures painting, people that are making music live, people that are acting. So they have this romanticized version of it in their heads, and some of them are the 1%. And so just like during the Renaissance, when Michelangelo had the Medicis were his what's that word? Patron.
Mm-hmm.
So they pay for the true art because at some point, I think artists are going to get elevated to the level that they were in the Renaissance. Now everyone's an artist and everyone can be an artist, but which I kind of agree with. We all have an artistic side, but I can't act. I can't play the drums. I can't play the guitar. There's so many things I can't do in the artist world that these people that, Ryan was meant to be a musician. You were meant to be an actor or writer, all that stuff. And so I think if the 1% has all the money, they're still going to want art because that, like you said, it's in our DNA.
Yes. And like I preach to my children, and I'm going to look in the mirror and preach to myself, you have to embrace change. It is inevitable. A great story I heard in the 90s, the legendary record producer, Clive Davis, right? Clive Davis, if you look him up, he's a pillar in the music industry.
Huge.
I knew a guy who worked for him at the label that Clive was at the time. Anyways, went out to dinner, a bunch of us, and at this club, and he had gotten fired from his job. Mm-hmm. When I hear that, I'm like, tell me the story. You got fired.
Let's hang out.
Yes. Because all I experience and still experience getting rejected, right? Literally all I experience is absolute rejection.
Right.
Hey, I wrote this thing. No, thanks. Hey, I wrote it. Nope. Hey, you want it? Nope. In the last 3 years, I have hit 5 shows, and one of them has moment. Anyways, I say, oh my God, what happened? Clive Davis stood up in this meeting and said, I want the focus to be, I don't know if he talks like this, but he's talking like, this is what the focus of the company must be. We have to stop the internet.
Oh, God.
Right? This young executive goes, Mr. Davis, I know we don't, Napster, and we don't want music. I understand that you said, but I think we'd have a better chance at stopping jaywalking internationally. Right? You're fired. and I'm so grateful I heard that story because I'm like, I don't want to be that guy.
No.
Right? But I think there's going to be an AI band. The kids go to a nightclub and it's like, that's my favorite artist, right? Yeah. It's already happening on some level.
Yes, absolutely.
There's going to be an AI generated actor that people are going to follow. It's going to be all that. But the example I think of is tapes came out, affected the vinyl record. CDs came out, records were gone. Digital came out, CDs were gone. What have we gone back to?
Vinyl.
Vinyl is like, it's
I know.
Huge. And I'll tell you why, because I think when I put a record on, God, I'm going to sound like an old man. Here's why I love a record. Because it's a curated story. The band goes, okay, this is the song that I think should go first, and this is second, and then this is where the album kind of peaks, and then we're going to put the thing on the B side because of that. And you can't skip around, and you sit down, and what are we doing? We are listening to a full story. That's what our brains want. Our brains want a story, but we are given sliced up little bits of scrolling dopamine hits. I'm just as guilty. I climb into bed at night and I'm like, all right, time to look at 48-second clips of refinishing furniture.
Exactly.
Right? Or I'll cheer on the guy in Minneapolis who's unplugging the Culver pipe.
Oh God. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you guys look at I mean, I tend to like raccoons that people have for pets. So they're very cute and it makes me want one. And, but yeah, I know Angela watches a lot of, he likes the gold digging show of these tractors digging in dirt. I don't get it, but hey, then he's in his office in the middle of his workday playing his guitar because he can't, and so it's like, it's
and also he's drawn back to what he is passionate about. So I think this will evolve into something. The train has left the station and it's going somewhere.
Agree.
My heart breaks for, like, today I saw this really bizarre image on my news feed, and it was like one of those robots, and it was in this field picking a tea leaf, and this bot is learning the dexterity of how to pick a thing, and it's doing it. There are people out there that not only is that their livelihood and their life, that's their meditative, like, that's part of their process of their humanity and their spirituality. It's like they're out there plucking these tea leaves, and I go, oh, okay. Oh, God. Okay. But then I think of, we have a lovely neighbor named Kathy who lives alone, and we've kind of adopted her, and we look after her as a family, and my son's very close with her, and it's my mom's voice in my head of like, you take care of people. And so I'll go over and I'll sit with her for hours, and we'll watch these bad crime shows, and we eat fried chicken, and we talk about life, and amazing. And what was interesting is a while back she fell and she got hurt and broke her hip, and then the other night when I was there, she had a little slip and kind of fell against the couch, and I was able to catch her or whatever. And as I'm walking across the street, I thought, well, I'm going to get one of those robots when I'm older that can pick me up.
Oh, God.
And as weird as that sounds, that's the thing that I'm like, I wouldn't mind to have a robot that's like, Kirk, are you okay? My hip is falling. I can't get up. I will scoop you up in my arms because I was trained in the field of tea leaves. I will carry you to the ER, whatever it takes, Mr. Kirk.
I never thought about that, but I do like it. I had one of those robot vacuums for a little while, and it was okay until it got stuck under the couch. But I do think there's a place for it. I don't know if I'll be around to see the, I always think of water sloshing and how right now it's sloshing, and at some point it's going to be smooth again. And I don't know if I'll be around for that. I'm not sure how long it'll take to kind of even that out. But I do think the kids will figure it out. But what you said, it's the theme of this whole, every single thing that we talk about on here is like, change is coming. You can sit in it. You can resist it. You can be mad about it, but your life changes every single day. And are you going to, look at it from a positive view? It may not feel good, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad. And how are you going to manage it? Because just like you, I don't want to be the angry person going, oh, these kids, I don't want to be that person. I still want to look at the world.
These days in their goddamn phones. I'm like,
Exactly. Well, I really don't want to be that person. I want to be the old lady that people are like, hey, let's go party with Carla because she's still, she's not angry. She's not going to yell at us for. I cannot thank you enough for coming on.
I hope that this was helpful and entertaining in some way. But I just want to say this in all sincerity. I've always thought you were so cool. I was always so grateful that you were cool to me. I think what you're doing is incredibly important. And you're creating awareness, and you're creating content, and you're exploring themes and topics outside of, like, I watch a lot of these podcasts with, like, this comedian has a podcast, and it's like Ted Danson's on there telling behind the scenes stories about Cheers. I'm like, I want to know about the garbage man. So I just think what you're doing is so cool. I support it.
Oh, thank you.
I am grateful for it. And you are so cool. And I'm going to flash back on this great moment in our past that I don't even remember, but I'm in like 6th or 7th grade. You guys had just moved into the house on San Miguel Street.
Uh-huh.
Your parents are gone.
Yeah.
Your brother and I cooked up this whole thing. We had somebody to buy us beer, and there was like a little house back there. There was like a little.
Yeah, it was like the maid's quarters.
Yeah.
The old timey, we did not have a maid. It was the old timey maid's quarters.
Anyways, I remember, we're set up in our little house back there. Jimmy Smiley and Nick and Pat Hodges. We're sitting around a table, like just kind of imitating what, the older kids did.
Right.
And I remember music was blaring. I can remember standing in the backyard. Music was coming to your house, and there was just big shadows of like older kids.
Yeah.
And so we're in there with our Mickey's Big Mouth playing chords, and you open the door. And I remember going, oh, shit. And I remember you stood there and you go, what the hell are you guys doing? And Nick was like, Carla, we just blah, blah. And I remember you surveyed the room and you shook your head and you're like, oh, God, no. And then I remember the look on your face, which if I think I'm right, was the choice of like, I want to party. I'm dealing with this. I'm done. And you step back. And I remember you always had that cool short haircut, right? You had this and like this Baylor sweatshirt on, and you just closed the door on us, but you were looking straight ahead. And it was like the music and the light and everything. Yeah. And I remember the door closed and we all went, yeah.
She's not going to say anything. Well, I mean, for one, you guys were just such ding-dongs. And I mean, Nick's friends would just come over. I think it was Smiley. And, one of my best friends who you know very well, tall, blonde, legs up to here, right? And he would just be drooling over her. I mean, a foot shorter than her. And just like, and trying to talk to my friends, and they were just like, "Who are these guys?" Like,
we're just. And I'm so grateful that we found each other. And I was friends with Paul too. But Nick, your brother showed up. Oh man, I knew him when he was a kid. We would hang out in younger, but when he came in like 5th grade or 4th grade or whatever. Just knowing that he was coming to our school, I was so excited. And your brother comes into class, and it's like, I think it was 4th grade. Anyways, we're facing each other. The teacher had, for some reason, aligned the desks in like a really alternative way. We're going to. And Nick and I look at each other, and we're like Ted Knight and Charles Grodin. Like, we couldn't look at each other we would just laugh and laugh and laugh.
This is awesome. And I just appreciate it. And I will be in touch so we can, you can know the details of all of it.
Hey, whatever you need from me, I'm here. I want to support this, and I want to bring people to this platform because I think who you are as a person and what you do and what you want to do is very important.
You're very sweet. Important. Well, thank you. I mean it. Thank you. And, I'll be in touch.
Okay, Carla.
All right, thanks, Kirk.
Give my love to everybody, okay?
I will. You too. Okay, bye. Thank you for joining me on today's adventure. Thanks to Donna Silva for her fantastic memories of the 70s and 80s, and for giving me my new favorite phrase, little tiny Prince butt. And a huge thank you to Kirk Ward for his great storytelling, positive energy, and his constant support of my family's endeavors. Thank you for listening to Gen X TrustFall. If you liked this episode or have a suggestion for a potential guest, please check out our website at genxtrustfall.com. Gen X TrustFall is produced by me and the recording master, Ryan Loomis, at Double Banger Studio. Music by Ryan and Sam. Website and advisory by Amy Clifford.